So here I just wanted to answer the question, how good is your phone at being a ruler? And I don't mean a ruler as in counting the distance on it. I mean a ruler as in being able to move your phone from one location to another and seeing how good it is at that. You should be able to take the difference between 2 points, and that should give you a distance. And so this is really helpful early on while we're exploring AR, because it gives us an idea of how accurate AR is. So we'll be able to explore that a little bit. And then it'll also give us an idea of how we can calculate angles with quaternions. And so that's another important skill to have, because quaternions aren't necessarily as straightforward as vectors. This will just give us a better intuition for our next project. A quick mini experiment is to start and stop this application a few different times, and that'll give us an idea of our error, and that's a very important thing for later down the line. We need to know how accurate XR is in general. It's going to be very helpful for later on when accuracy matters more. Starting from the skeleton that we had previously made, we are going to define 5 different objects. We're going to define the position 1, the position 2, the difference. So these are both going to be elements within our HTML. And then we are going to define our math objects. And so that's going to be position 1 state and position 2 state. And so then we have to load up our different elements. And so we are going to just do that by get element by ID. And those will be on objects within our HTML. Okay, so now we have to add some different things to our renderer. So every time it renders, we're going to be saving that information to our position 2 state. And so we're going to be recording in position 2, and then we are going to add that to our current location. So we're going to update the inner HTML of position 2. Okay, and so now we have to add some event listeners. And so these event listeners are going to be for our first button and our second button. So here's our first button, and our first button basically just clones position 2, and then it will save that position to position 1. And then what our second button will do is it will save the difference between the two, and it'll calculate out the angle between those two positions. So what we'll end up with is with a difference in distance and then also a difference in the angle. And so that kind of gives us our 2 things for the ruler that's necessary. So then we'll basically take the difference of the 2, and we will show the absolute difference between those 2, and we will measure the angle. So, and we'll put the angle into degrees rather than rates.